much for joining us in this installment of Conversation Starters, which is a series of panel discussions organized by SIM University's School of Arts and Social Sciences and the National Library Board.
So then, once I bring the food home, or in Louis's case, in a hotel kitchen, what are the possible areas of contamination in cooking and dealing with it?
I think it's handling, very important. Storage, temperature. If you don't separate your raw food and cooked food, usually we'll store raw food at the bottom of the shelf and cooked food at the top. But it's better to separate
why
it.
do you have to separate them?
Because it will drips. You know, the raw, for example, is raw fish. It will drips the water down to
And then it will
the cooked food
contaminate
and it contaminate
yes, okay.
the below.
We used to think that, okay, so I've got leftover food, I keep it in the fridge, it's very safe. And then I find out actually it's not very safe. It can continue to get bad. So we'll ask our logistics expert.
Actually, every food will have an optimum shelf life and storage temperature. So the proper way is always to read the food labels on the package and store them at the appropriate temperature. So like food stuff that's supposed to be kept in the fridge or the refrigerator temperature, which is about 4 degrees Celsius, make sure that they are kept at that optimum temperature so that their shelf life that's indicated on the food package can be ensured. Whereas those that you are supposed to keep them in the freezer compartment, which is around negative 18 degrees Celsius, make sure that they are kept in a proper container and put in a freezer so that their optimum shelf life can be ensured. So back to the freezing and the temperature control concept is always to keep the food items at the optimum directed temperature based on the labeling based on the food labels so that all your food stuff, the safety and hygiene can be ensured. So as a consumer, my advice at the end of the day is really to read the labels properly and to make full use of the refrigerator in a correct manner.
Well, while we were talking just now, it was one of the classic food poisoning cases is with rice, whether it is with white rice, whether it is with fried rice. And this is usually rice that's been left out for a bit too long. It can be left out, let's say on a warmer, but because it's been left for too long, certain bacteria will grow, and at these temperatures, these bacteria will then produce toxins, which if you then consume it, usually these toxins will then produce vomiting, diarrhea within a few hours.
How dangerous is food poisoning? Right? At what point do we really need to go to a hospital? And then you talk about hydration. Do you just drink ordinary water? Do you drink isotonic drinks? Or what should you do?
For the vast majority of us in this room, the standard food poisoning will not really do anything to you. You may need to rest at home for a few days, but that's about it. But for some groups of people, that's when we get a bit more worried. Usually, these groups of people will be the ones with a weakened immune system. For example, HIV patients, for example, people who are on immune suppressing drugs like transplant patients, patients on chemotherapy, patients with diabetes.
Chemotherapy, that means after cancer patients,
no,
is it?
People who are actually on chemotherapy at the moment.
Undergoing the process
yes,
of...
who are currently going
right.
through it. People who, the elderly, because again the immune system not so good. And diabetics again because their immune system is not so good.